Gordon Pitts is a Globe and Mail reporter and the author of several books about Canadian business leaders. He joins me now from Toronto. Gordon, good to see you. How would you describe Wallace McCain?
Well, I've described him as really a business lion, one of the legends of Canadian business, a classic entrepreneur who built a great company and with the help of his brothers in New Brunswick. That's McCain Foods. And then after a big split, built and helped spearhead the growth of another great food company in Maple Leaf Foods. So it's rare that an entrepreneur is involved in two iconic Canadian companies in his lifetime. And of course, a leader of that great legions of Maritimers, Atlantic Canadians actually, who are business successes, some of them who still live in the maritime provinces, but many of whom have moved. And, he's really the role model for those people. That is a unique generation of maritime entrepreneurs, isn't it? How important was he to that group? Well, he was the leader of that group. He was quite clearly the central figure in a group that included people like John Bragg and the Sobeys and the Irvings, which the Irvings have had this love-hate relationship with the McCains, and it's almost like having each other there goaded the other one on to more and more. You mentioned that painful split in the family between Wallace and Harrison. What was the long-term impact of that split on the family business and on those two men? Well, on the two men, it was just catastrophic, a relationship, a very dynamic relationship. But it made its way back. I mean, at the end of Harrison's life, I think it's safe to say they were close again in a quieter way, less public way. Now, in terms of McCain Foods, who knows? It seems to have gone on from strength to strength. But you have to believe that McCain Foods could be a much bigger, much more dynamic company with the two leaders. It's sort of still stuck in that whole area of frozen foods with some diversification. And maybe it would be a bigger company, a more dynamic company today, but it's done very well, so you can't really argue with success. They had very good non-McCain managers to carry it through. The problem Canadian business empires like this often run into is handing on responsibility to successive generations. How did Wallace and Harrison do in terms of preparing those who would follow them to continue with this business success? Well, I mean, that's, I think, the fatal flaw in the McCain story. The two brothers were really going hell-bent for leather to create a company, right? Creating it from scratch, and it was a 24/7, and I mean a 24/7, around the world, global tripping to pull this off. And then at 60, they looked up and said, oh, we need to have a successor, and we don't agree on succession. And not only do we not agree on succession, we disagree to the point of willing to go to court, to prove each other's point. And I think it shows the inadequacy of a lot of entrepreneurs, for all their fabled business might, to really deal early enough with that issue of succession. And they've been lucky that the company has continued as McCain Foods as successfully as it has. What Atlantic Canada needs is a new cadre of entrepreneurs, immigrants perhaps, people who don't come from the orthodox background of the old Scots-Irish English establishment. I think there have been great success in the Acadian leaders in the past decade or so. We're starting to see that group come to the fore. Wallace, I think, understood that. He, after all, did set up the Wallace McCain Institute with the University of New Brunswick to groom the next generation. I think if you talk to everyone of Wallace's generation among that leadership, they're concerned with this. They have their own children and they're moving forward, but there needs to be much more done. Fascinating generation. I know you've done a great job chronicling it in your books, Gordon, and I want to thank you very much for taking the time to share your knowledge with us. Harry, it's been great to talk to you again. All right, you take care. Gordon Pitts is a reporter with the Globe and Mail. He is the author of Codfathers, Lessons from the Maritime Business Elite, and In the Blood, Battles to Succeed in Canada's Family Businesses.